Welcome to my house. My name is Lisa and this is Kindness and Light, and today is Fear Friday, which means I will be doing the Warrens. Now, this is by request from my viewers who wanted to do the Warrens, and I will definitely oblige by it because I love this couple for the fact that they have been into the parapsychology for over 50 years and the paranormal. So, and demonology, I'm not too fond of, but I think we're all a little scared of that. Now, Ed and Lorraine Warren met in 1945 and they got married, and in 1951 they started the New England Paranormal Society. And Ed was like a painter at first, and he would paint these places and say he had psychic, weird feelings about these paintings that he'd been making. So he started painting these things, and Lorraine, she was a psychic, clairvoyant, and a medium. Now, you may ask, what is the difference between a psychic and a clairvoyant and a medium? A psychic is someone who is soul-to-soul communication, which means through your guides or your angels and spirit guides. They get their information from your angels and spirit guides, and they tell us, something like that. It's kind of like they're the mediators, and then they send a signal to us, who is psychic. And a clairvoyant is someone who can see events in someone's life, like past, something residual. Or clairvoyant is actually a French word, which means clairseeing, seeing images in their minds. Now, most of them see them in their dreams. They see them all in color, and it's like it's acting out in front of them, the past. A medium is, they can talk spiritually to the person who is on the other side, the spirits. So you can be all three of these. And as I said, Lorraine was all three of them. Now, they had over 50 years of working on these cases, spiritual cases. Now, Ed was like a self-taught demonologist and an author and a painter, and Lorraine was kind of like the one who brought all of them together. They had a daughter named Judy, and her husband, Tony Spira, now runs the Haunted Museum and their artifacts and things like that they have left, their cases. And he goes around and lectures, to different areas. But Lorraine died in 2019, and Ed died in 2006. So they're no longer with us. They are in spirit. So they've done over 10,000 different cases. Now, these are different cases. Cases that, they just didn't go one place and then keep on going back and back and back. But they were reported, their legacy lives on for completely. 10,000 cases they were reported on. And most of these cases have backup of police evidence and doctor's evidence or neighbors or, word of mouth. But there are still some skeptics like, oh, that was rigged or this was rigged or that, and they don't believe them. Of course, there's always going to be skeptics in this world. But some of them are been made into movies. Now, some of the most famous cases that they've had is, of course, made into movies. The Amityville Horror, Amityville, New York, where the DeFeo family lived, and where Ron DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family, and his two sisters, his two brothers, and both his parents by shooting them. Now, this is one that really scared Lorraine. Now, really scared Lorraine to the point where she did not like talking about it at all. She more or less did, and they have photos, and at the beginning, the thumbnail on this video is a picture of the Amityville Horror House inside with the little boy in the picture. Now, this has been disputed, but it's never been claimed or never been found illegit, not true. That this is a true photograph of a spirit. And it looks just like the little boy that was shot in the house. Now, they were called by the Lutz family, who bought the house from, after this horrendous murder. And they had bought it in December and moved in, and they only stayed 28 days there and left everything behind and just completely left and walked out of their house and said, no way, I'm not going back in there. Everything can stay. Whatever, we'll rebuild. So 28 days later, they just left their thing and said that house was haunted. Evil spirits haunted their home. And, of course, there was a movie made about it. And then there's 8 installments of the Conjuring series, which grossed over $2 billion, which is a horror movie made with $2 billion is amazing. The Nun, of course, Annabelle Creations, Annabelle, The Conjuring 1 and 2, Annabelle Comes Home, The Curse of La Llorona, which is La Llorona is a Spanish or a Mexican curse that the lady had killed her children and drowned them. And so she was so distraught after what she'd seen she did that she haunts the area and looks for children and looking for her children, and she mistakes children for her children, and then she drowns them again, tries to drown them again. So you don't want to run into La Llorona. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is about Arnie Johnson, who killed his landlord and stabbed him 22 times, I believe, and said that the devil made him do it. Now, this has a weird story because The Devil Made Me Do It was about Arnie Johnson, like I said, and he had his girlfriend. Her little brother was possessed by a demon. So Ed and Lorraine was there and helped the Catholic Church exorcise this demon out of this little boy. And Arnie Johnson said, "Take me instead." So the demon went inside Arnie Johnson, and they went home thinking that the little boy was okay and everything was fine. And Arnie had stabbed his landlord 22 times and killed him. So when, of course, he went to church, he said that the demon made him do it. Now, he's out of jail now. He served his time for murder. But, that was the first case that actually someone tried to use that as that excuse of a demon made me do it. Now, you can ask why Ronald DeFeo didn't do it. Ronald DeFeo Jr. didn't do it when he said he heard voices in his head and stuff and told him to kill his family and stuff like that. Well, he didn't contact the Warrens. The Lutzes did, the family that moved in after that house. So, the Warrens tried to help him, of course, and they failed. But, and then, of course, the Annabelle Creations, The Conjuring 2 was about the Perron family. Or Conjuring 1 was about the Perron family, 1970 Perron family. Now, like I said, The Conjuring 1 was about the Perron family, and that was about Bathsheba, the witch. And The Conjuring 2 was the Enfield, England, in the UK, about the Hodgins family and the single mom, the 2 daughters, the 2 boys, and all the ghosts more or less focused on the daughters. And then the Arnie Johnson was The Devil Made Me Do It. And then we went into the Annabelle doll. Now, the Annabelle doll, if you watch my old videos of Annabelle on my Haunted Doll series, last month, she has like 3 or 4 of how she was made and what demon was inside her and everything. Now, the nun was about the Borley Church. I'm assuming they took that off of the Borley Church. The Borley Church has a freaky backstory to it, and or the Borley Rectory, I'm sorry. And there's actually a movie on Tubi that you can watch for free, called the Borley Rectory, Ghost something, or the Borley Rectory Haunting. That's pretty cool. I watched it last night, and it has some good parts to it. I'm a big horror fan, so you can't really go by my judgment if you like horror movies. It's got scary parts to it where it kind of freaks you out, which is cool, and I really like it. And let's see here. I'm trying to figure out, but I want to do a series about about a handful of them that nobody's really heard of. I have never heard of. They're not famous or anything. I've never seen movies about them. So what I'm going to do is some of the ones that they have done, investigations that they have done that it's not so familiar, like Amityville or The Conjuring. I am going to do the Borley Church, which I just said. I'm going to do Satan's Harvest, which is about Frenchie. Now, if you watch Conjuring 1, you can see Frenchie at the beginning. Frenchie was a man named Maurice Thoreau. And Sam the cat, the talking cat, the Goodwin family. Now, this has been documented by police officers and clergy and the Warrens. That's kind of cool. I never heard of it before. Werewolf of London, not the movie Werewolves of London, Werewolf of London. Now, this is about a man who has lycanthropy, and I know I didn't pronounce that right, but he has lichen things about him, but to make him think he's a werewolf. And he has strength and everything, and police officers have documented it and all, and it's really cool, and I know you'll like it. And then I'm going to talk about the Small family. Now, the Small family is a little family who says that they've been possessed by or assaulted by spirits and things like that. So, and it was pretty interesting to do some research on that. So that's what I'm going to try this month of June. I'm also going to do more lunchtimes with Lisa on Saturdays at noon Central. That means it would be 1 p.m. Eastern and at 10 a.m. Western, or Pacific time, I'm sorry. And for my friends overseas in UK, that would be 6 p.m. at night, and in Ireland, 6 p.m. at night. So that way people can get on and talk and laugh and everything. So with that, it's going to be lunchtime laughter with Lisa. Lunchtime laughter with Lisa, and that's what the series is going to be on Saturday afternoons. And of course, I'm going to be doing my tarot readings. So, with that said, I hope that you stick around for the rest of the Warrens. They're very interesting, and if you're like me, I really get into things like that. So, I want you to share your kindness, shine your beacon of light, and may you have peace.